Welcome back to a new video. So in this workout, this was the one I did yesterday on Tuesday, quite late at night when I'm recording this, so I do apologize if I sound a bit tired, but this workout was really productive and it went well for the most part. Snatches were the 2+2 snatch plus overhead squat, and I bumped up 10 kilograms from last week where I did 80 to 90, and I was able to do all 4 sets. And you can kind of see how I kind of missed the first rep of double. It is raining really hard outside. I doubt that's picked up on the microphone, but there's a tornado watch, so I guess you might hear me blow away and fly to Kansas. But the second rep, so the doubles of the snatch, like you see here, kind of a makey miss. But the second rep of all the sets went well, and the last set was my best set, and obviously made all the overhead squats, but was just early on them. I was just thinking too much about the other reps I had to do, I think, because in the last one I just really committed to doing a good rep on the first one, and then it went fine. But generally happy with how they felt and how they went. The bar felt like it was moving well, felt like I was catching it in a good position. Obviously not on the first reps, but I felt like I was doing a good enough job at them with this increased weight from the previous week. I thought I was going to be really struggling, but certainly went well for the most part. I then went to doing some snatch pulls. After doing snatch pulls, I did some back squats. So the snatch pulls were 4 sets of 2 at 120, and the back squats were 4 sets of 2, or 4 sets of 4 with 3+1 back squat plus, or regular back squat plus pause back squat. What you'll see after I do these snatches is that I just did a continuous set, I guess you can call it, for the pulls as well as the back squats. So I didn't do any cuts for the rest times in between, but I didn't take much time in between. I believe for the pulls, it probably took 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes in total to do the 4 sets. It was really easy. And then the back squats, it took, I want to say the original clip was like 6.5 minutes, but I cut off the time, me waiting before doing the first rep. But I did the back squats really quick as well. Spent about 5 minutes doing the 4 sets, and with increased weight from last week, definitely in a sense made it more challenging, but almost made it easier in a sense because I was just getting it done. I didn't have enough time to sit there and think about the dread of the next set, and the weights aren't too heavy yet. It's blowing sideways. I'm hearing it hit my window, which is between my house, or my window is next to my house and next to the neighbor's house, so it's kind of weird to get rain hitting it. This would be not a good last thing to have on the internet, just me blowing away in a tornado. But thankfully in Southwest Ohio, they are very rare to have tornadoes. But the pulls were at 120. I don't know if I already said that, but I was very happy about how they felt. All pretty routine, and did them towards the back of the platform, which you may notice I got some additional stall mats cut up to put on there. It was the old stall mat that I have out on the sidewalk, which you can't really see just because it's so bright outside relative to the light, the brightness in the shed. But it's just out on the sidewalk there, and cut it up to get those little pieces at the back. And I suppose I could clean them up, but I mean, it's just a platform, so it's the same level as the regular mats that I have up front. And so it kind of just fills out the back of it and the front. So then I was able to screw them in. So then the squat racks were sitting on them. I do have a little wobble of the squat rack on the other side. I don't know, I have to kind of play around with it, but the mats are good enough for what I need them to be in the back and the front, and the whole main part is flat, which is what I like. I don't like the ridges of the Tractor Supply stall mats, so obviously I wouldn't want those to be the main part of it, which is why I spent more to get the mats that I have that are flat and 3/4 of an inch thick, so they're quite dense as well. So kind of, in theory, going all out and not having to do it again is always the plan when doing these kinds of things. Outside of that, so if we look at the back of the shed by the door as I'm doing more of these pulls, you'll notice that the wall and stuff looks a little bit different, and that's because I was screwing pieces of wood up into it next to where the YB normal flag is, and then you can see to the right of that, above the door frame, I have 2 pieces of wood screwed there, and then to the left of the door frame, I have a couple of pieces screwed into there. And there's not a big grand plan. I just have these extra pieces of wood, either from the redo of the platform or from the old platform. The two pieces next to the flag are old pieces. And I figured since they were still good pieces, a lot of the pieces were still good, that I would just screw them up there and kind of, in a sense, store them there and then kind of make it look more aesthetic, I suppose. Because I have a couple more pieces, pretty large pieces that I need to cut up. The big problem with it, there's still a bunch of nails and screws in them, which isn't that big of a deal as far as, screwing them up so they're just on the wall or whatever up there. But the table saw that I have, I think the blade got messed up on my old one. I had to go and buy a new blade, which is only a couple bucks, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I think because I was trying to cut and it hit a screw or something, one of the blades ridges or whatever sharp sides got cut or bent a little bit because it was messed up when I was looking at it. It was quite old too. I had used it for the original platform and had cut a bunch of wood for it. So it was something that I knew was probably going to need to be replaced at some point. But did the back squats at 150, 10 kilograms up from last week, and they are starting to feel harder, but still pretty routine, and obviously being able to do it as quickly as I was able to do them, in the 5 minutes or whatever, certainly was good. I like to chalk up for every basically any set I do for anything, just because my hands are always so sweaty. I mean, it's really hot outside, so I'm going to be sweating no matter what, but my hands are always sweaty, so it just always feels better to have as much chalk in my hands as possible. I don't really like to think of myself as a chalk monster, but I kind of am there, and I guess I would be a lot worse if I had chalk on like all over my shirt and stuff, and it was just like obnoxious. But I really do like to have it on my hands because my hands are, if I just try to grab a bar just randomly, it's not very fun to grip it. And I think that's why when I was in high school, I remember trying to do a deadlift and hating it because I couldn't grip the bar, and I think it's just literally because I didn't use chalk or know how to use it. My dad actually had it in the basement. Been kind of OP. If I figured out how to use chalk back then, I probably would have been doing some deadlifts of some sort. I think I was doing sumo deadlifts in high school when I was like 15 or 16, or at least I attempted one. But didn't really do much of that in high school, really at all. Just normal lifts, leg press, and some squats, but nothing really too in depth. Thankfully, built a really good base at that point. You see over there, jotting everything down in my notebook. My notebook has been really useful. I haven't done a very good job of keeping up with the Excel sheet that I made, but the progression is very simple. Like I'm doing 2 weeks at 5 sets of 3+3, for instance, in like the snatch exercise, and then after those 2 weeks down to 4 sets of 2+2, and then after 2 more weeks down to 3 sets of 1+1, and it's just like the progression for all of the exercises. So I'm able to essentially linearly progress throughout this, what will probably be 8 weeks. It could be as little as 6 weeks. I think next week when I drop another set and do like the 1+1s, for instance, this exercise, I think a lot of the sets will start to get really difficult. So I don't think I'll be able to really like take crazy jumps up from there. So it might just be a 6-week progression. And then I get to the point where on the like heavy Saturday day, where this last one, I got up to 115 and did 140 a couple times, but attempted 150. If I'm able to get to do like a 125 snatch, even if I repeated the clean and jerk, I would be fine with then resetting after that 6 weeks and going back to doing the really high volume sets and kind of just keeping that 6-week progression that just kind of goes on a loop. And then each time I can make adjustments to different exercises I want to do, or the days of the week that I want to do different exercises, and kind of just look at it. If everything is going really well and I'm feeling really strong, and honestly like my shoulder just feels better every time I get to like the first day of the week, my shoulder feels better than the previous week. And it's a really nice thing that I've built this way in kind of a slow linear progression, because I felt like it was the exact correct thing for me to do. And it's been so helpful because each week when I think like how I felt doing the five sets of 3+3 at the really lightweight, I was like, I was, not in a bad spot. Like I had snatched 120 and did a 155 clean and jerk. So it wasn't as if I was, in like terrible pain or anything, but just the progress from that point to now, as far as how everything feels overhead, has been tremendous as far as the comfort of it. But I also think, obviously the amount of overhead squats and stuff I've been doing have been really helpful as well. Another thing you'll kind of notice with the back squats and with the pulls is I don't really sit down at all. And that's partially because I'm trying to do the sets faster, but it's also kind of generally like I don't sit around a ton. I'll sit around a little bit, but if I'm doing like snatches and cleans, I almost never sit down. I just kind of walk around, or I might sit down to like write on my notebook and then just kind of get back up and start getting ready again. But the big thing I was kind of waiting for in these back squat sets was just kind of to catch my breath, and I knew if I went too quick, then the sets would just be obnoxiously difficult, and I would still be able to do them, but obviously you want to do them with quality enough form to elicit the response that you want. I don't want to be dying and pitched over and grinding them out terribly. But honestly, well, I guess I'll kind of look at this set. I haven't really looked at the other ones. We'll see how this looks as well. But besides that, I also have a weird video that's going to be coming out. So it's going to be 10 hours of bar whirring noises. I was finishing this training session. These look pretty easy, and I was like, I'll just make this. You put the plate on and you take it off, and it makes that roaring noise, or however you say it. I was like, I'll just make a 10-hour video of that. So that's currently rendering. It's going to take forever to render, but that's going to be a random upload. Let's see how it works. I am definitely not someone that likes ASMR type stuff, but I figured that would be a funny thing to post. Maybe someone will like it, but it's just a video of just my shelf, and I was just taking plates on and off, and I kind of cut it down a little bit and then just repeated the video. But yeah, quite a weird upload, but I felt like it's something that could pop off. Maybe not, but enough blank space. It's already a long enough video, and I need to go to bed because I am exhausted. But that's going to be it for this one. I'll talk to you all in the next one, and have a great day. Peace.